Hello bachcho, welcome back. Today we are going to again start with the first chapter, that is living and non-living things, with the second characteristics of living and non-living things. तो जैसा कि आपने देखा मेरे पहले वाले वीडियो में कि फर्स्ट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ लिविंग एंड नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स हमने करा बहुत ही अच्छे से, और वो फर्स्ट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स क्या था? दैट वाज दैट ऑल द living things are made up of cells, whereas non-living things are not made up of cells. Okay, now we move on to the second characteristic. Second characteristic क्या है? The second characteristic is that living things show movement. जो living things होते हैं they can move from one place to another. If you notice children, you can see that animals they move from one place to another. That is, they move in search of food, they move in search of shelter. उनको जब खाना चाहिए तो वो एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जाते हैं, हंट करते हैं. लायन एंड टाइगर, यू माइट हैव सीन देम हंटिंग फॉर द फूड. पीछे पीछे भागते हैं डियर्स के, उन्हें कैच करते हैं एंड देन दे ईट इट. सो दे मूव फॉर their hunger. Okay, they go and hunt for the food. Then they need shelter, they need a home, so they move for shelter. So there are different animals which show different kinds of movement because of different reasons. Fine. Now you will say that plants are also living things. Very correct, that plants are living things. They also show movement. नो नॉट सो कि आप रात को सोए और आपने देखा एक नीम का पेड़ घर के बाहर था और जब सुबह उठे तो वो नीम का पेड़ दौड़ते हुए दूसरी जगह पहुंच गया. तो ऐसा तो नहीं होगा. ओके, द प्लांट्स दे शो डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ मूवमेंट. दैट इज यू कैन सी देयर ब्रांचेस मूविंग. आप उनकी लीव्स को मूव करते देख सकते हैं. द ब्रांचेस आर ग्रोइंग. लाइक इन केस ऑफ सनफ्लावर, आप अगर सनफ्लावर के केस में देखें तो आप देखेंगे कि जैसे जैसे सन मूव करता है वैसे वैसे फ्लावर का फेस मूव करता है अलॉन्ग विद द डायरेक्शन ऑफ द सन. तो इसको हम कहते हैं मूवमेंट. ओके, नाउ बेस्ड अपॉन द टाइप ऑफ मूवमेंट यू कैन से, जिस तरह ये मूव करते हैं एनिमल्स और प्लांट्स, द मूवमेंट हैज़ बीन कैटेगराइज्ड इनटू 2 कैटेगरीज. पहला लोकोमोशन. नाउ व्हाट इज लोकोमोशन? पहले आप इस चीज को समझिए. लोकोमोशन क्या होता है? व्हेन अ एनिमल और अ बॉडी मूव्स फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर. लाइक यू कैन सी मी स्टैंडिंग हियर. लाइक सपोज इफ आई मूव फ्रॉम वन प्लेस टू अनदर प्लेस, आई एम मूविंग हियर, आई एम मूविंग हियर. सो दिस इज कॉल्ड लोकोमोशन. In locomotion, the particular animal or the particular living being changes its place. और जब वो एनिमल या लिविंग बीइंग अपनी प्लेस चेंज कर रहा है, एक जगह से दूसरी जगह जा रहा है, दिस काइंड ऑफ मूवमेंट वी कॉल इट एज लोकोमोशन. इज दैट क्लियर? ओके, जबकि प्लांट्स में आपने देखा कि वो अपनी जगह नहीं बदलते हैं. लाइक राइट नाउ आई एम स्टैंडिंग हियर, आई एम नॉट मूविंग फ्रॉम माई प्लेस. मैं हिल नहीं रही हूँ लेकिन मेरे हैंड्स मूव कर रहे हैं. You can see my hands moving very clearly. You can see my face moving. You can see my neck moving. So this kind of movement जिसमें आपकी जगह नहीं चेंज हो रही है लेकिन आप देख सकते हैं कि हाथ हिल रहा है, मुंह हिल रहा है, पैर हिल रहा है, but you are at the same place. This is known as movement. So such kind of movement you will see in the plants. Is that clear? Like a very common plant is there. It is known as छुई मुई. कुछ लोग उसको छुई मुई बुलाते हैं, कुछ लोग उसको लाजवंती के नाम से जानते हैं. ओके, नाउ दिस प्लांट छुई मुई, इफ यू टच द लीफ ऑफ दैट प्लांट इट क्लोजेस. द लीव्स क्लोजेस, दे ड्रूप डाउन, दे क्लोज. सो दिस इज ऑल्सो अ मूवमेंट. इन इंग्लिश यू कॉल दिस प्लांट एज टच मी नॉट. ओके, इट इज ऑल्सो नोन एज टच मी नॉट प्लांट. So if you touch the leaves of these plants, you will see that they close their leaves and their branches, they droop down. The leaves also droop down. Is that clear? This is a movement. Another example is of the sunflower, like I told you. That sunflower, it moves along with the sun. The face of the flower moves with the sun. This is also called movement. Okay, then there are certain sea animals also, like sea anemone, hydra. They do not move from one place to another. That is, they stick on a particular rock and only their tentacles are moving. Tentacles are finger-like projections which they have. Okay, and they move at one place. So there are certain animals also which do not show locomotion. They only show movement. Now you will say, ma'am, there are certain non-living things also which move. You are very right. You can see a car moving on the road. You can see a bicycle moving on the road. If we talk about non-living things, then you can see clouds moving in the sky. You can also see water running in the river, moving in the river, streams, the water streams are there. Okay, then you can see the toy car also running with the help of a remote. But what is the difference between these kind of movement which I was talking just now and between the movement of a living thing? लिविंग थिंग्स जो होते हैं वो अपने से मूव करते हैं, दे मूव ऑन देयर ओन, वेराज ये नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स जिनके बारे में मैं अभी बात कर रही थी, अ कार, अ टॉय कार, देन अ बाइसिकल, अ क्लाउड, अ रिवर, हाउ डू दे मूव? दे मूव विद द हेल्प ऑफ एक्सटर्नल फोर्स. इन्हें कोई ना कोई मैकेनिकल फोर्स चाहिए जिससे ये मूव करते हैं. दे डू नॉट मूव ऑन देयर ओन. Is that clear? So we conclude to this that living things, they show movement, that is they move from one place to another, or their body parts move like in case of trees. But in non-living things there is no movement until and unless there is some external force acting on it. Is that clear? I hope the second point is very clear to you. Okay. Now we move on to the third characteristics of living and non-living things. And the third characteristics is growth. That is, you can see that all the living things, they show growth. You might have seen a small baby, a baby is born, then the baby starts growing. That is, you might have seen that the size of the baby increases, the height of the baby increases, even the weight of the baby increases. There is increase in the number of cells present in that body. There is increase in the number of tissues. There is increase in the muscles. The muscles increase, the number of bones also increase. Okay, so you can say that there is growth in the living things. Then if we talk in concept of plants, plants also show growth. Okay, but what kind of growth is there? You can see the branches growing. You can see that the plant, they also increase in their height. That is, once a plant is coming out, it is called a sapling. The small sapling is very small in size. It has a very small height, you can say. But slowly and slowly you will see that the height increases. The plant increases in height. It increases in width also. The number of leaves increases. The number of branches increases. The number of roots present in the plant increases. So what we see, that there is growth in the plants as well. In the beginning you will see that the plants are growing very fast, but after attaining a certain height, a certain width, you will see that they stop growing. Same happens with the human beings also, with the animals also, that after attaining certain growth they stop. अगर वो बढ़ते ही जाएंगे तो क्या होगा फिर? The human beings, they will become as tall as giants. ठीक है, वो बहुत लंबे होंगे और वो होते ही जाएंगे, लंबे होते जाएंगे, वेट बढ़ता जाएगा. बट क्या होता है, एक सर्टेन एज पे ग्रोथ स्टॉप्स. इज दैट क्लियर? ओके, बट दिस इज वन ऑफ द कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स. वेयर एज इफ वी कंपेयर द नॉन लिविंग थिंग्स, उनमें ग्रोथ होती है. अगर आप रात को अपने कमरे में एक टेबल छोड़ के सोए हैं, आप सुबह उठते हैं तो क्या 2-4 टेबल्स वहाँ पे हो जाती हैं? कई सारी टेबल्स हो जाती है, या टेबल का साइज इंक्रीज हो जाता है? नो, द टेबल इज ऑफ द सेम साइज. द चेयर विच इज देयर इन योर रूम, दैट इज ऑफ द सेम size. It doesn't increase in size. Is that clear? So there is no growth in case of non-living things. Non-living things में कोई growth नहीं होती है. They are as it is. और जबकि लिविंग थिंग्स जो होते हैं वो ग्रो करते हैं अपने साइज में, अपने वेट में, उनकी मसल्स ग्रो करती हैं, उनकी बोन्स ग्रो करती हैं साइज में, देयर ऑर्गन्स ऑल्सो ग्रो. सेम थिंग्स यू विल सी इन द एनिमल्स ऑल्सो as well as in the plants also. Okay, so this was one of the characteristic. This is one of the characteristic of living and non-living things. Okay, now we move on to the next characteristic, that is the life span. Now what is lifespan? Lifespan किसको कहते हैं? The time period from the birth to the death of an animal or of a plant or of human being is known as lifespan. यानी कि वो समय जब हम पैदा होते हैं और जब हम मरते हैं, पैदा होने से मरने तक के बीच का जो सफ़र होता है, बीच का जो टाइम होता है, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड लाइफ स्पैन. ठीक है, कुछ आपने देखे होंगे प्लांट्स, जैसे कि पीस हुआ आपका, और कुछ पर्टिकुलर होते हैं जो कि केवल, जैसे आपके इस समय विंटर्स में आपका आ रहा है, पीस आ रहा है, एंड देन यू हैव सोया मेथी, बथुआ. दिस यू गेट ओनली इन विंटर्स, क्योंकि ये इसी टाइम पे ग्रो करते हैं, इसी टाइम पे ये उगते हैं. उसके बाद दे पेरिश, यानी वो गायब हो जाते हैं, फिर वो उगना बंद कर देते हैं. सो दिस इज़ द लाइफ स्पैन ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर प्लांट. सेम वे you might have seen certain trees which live for many years, like banyan tree, peepal tree. They live for 100 years. Okay, so that is the lifespan of that particular tree. वो 100 साल तक जिंदा है, यानी कि that is its life span. Human beings, their maximum lifespan is 70 to 80 years. That is their lifespan. Okay, इसी तरह हर animal, हर plant, हर ह्यूमन बीइंग का अपना लाइफ स्पैन होता है. द नेक्स्ट कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स ऑफ लिविंग थिंग्स इज न्यूट्रिशन. दैट इज ऑल द लिविंग थिंग्स दे नीड न्यूट्रिशन. नाउ चिल्ड्रन, यू माइट हैव सीन दैट व्हेन यू स्टार्व फॉर अ डे, एक दिन आप अगर भूखे रहते हैं तो उसके बाद क्या होता है? यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग वेरी लो. आपको एनर्जी बहुत कम लगती है, आपको ऐसा लगता है बहुत थकान है, बहुत नींद आ रही है, और कोई भी काम करने में मन नहीं लगता है. और जब ऐसा हो रहा हो और उसी समय कोई आपको खाना ला के दे दे, व्हाट इज़ द फीलिंग? यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग बेटर. खाना देख के ही अच्छा लगने लगता है, आधी थकान तो तभी चली जाती है. एंड प्लस इफ़ इट इज़ योर फेवरेट फूड, देन यू आर मोर इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट. तो आप उस खाने को खाते हैं, और खाने के बाद फिर क्या होता है? यू स्टार्ट फीलिंग बेटर. जितनी वीकनेस थी, जितनी थकान थी, जो भी नींद आ रही थी, वो सब गायब हो जाती है. सो फ्रॉम दिस व्हाट डू वी कंक्लूड? We conclude that living things need food. अगर आप एक कोई एनिमल आपके घर में आपने पाला है, लाइक सपोज अ डॉग, यू हैव अ पेट डॉग और यू हैव अ पेट रैबिट, यू कीप दैट डॉग और रैबिट hungry for a day. Will that dog or rabbit run around in the house or will sit quietly at one place? एक जगह बैठा रहेगा चुपचाप. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके ताकत ही नहीं है. The dog has no energy in it to move around, to cuddle around you, to sit around you. So that dog will keep on sitting at one place. But as you give the food to that dog, you will see that the dog is filled with energy. So the food, it provides energy to living beings. So that is why the living things, they need food in order to get energy. This food is broken down inside our cells, inside our body, and in return इस food से क्या produce होता है? Energy is produced after breaking down of this food which we consume in. So nutrition is very important for living things. Okay. Now based upon the nutrition, there are two categories: autotrophs and heterotrophs. Now autotrophs are those animals or plants which prepare their food on their own. Is that clear? Like you might have seen trees. Does any one of you go and feed the tree? कि आप दोपहर में खाना खा रहे हैं, you have taken dal, rice, vegetable, raita with few chapatis in it and you are going and feeding your tree with it? No. आप में से कोई भी जाके अपने पेड़ों को खाना नहीं खिलाता है. Is that clear? Then how do they get the food? They get the food from the environment. They get the energy from the environment. That is, they take in carbon dioxide and water, and utilizing that, they produce energy. Is that clear? Okay, so that energy is utilized by the plants for their movements, for their growth. Is that clear? And that same energy is stored in their body in the form of proteins, vitamins, which when we in turn take the plant, we eat the plant, we get it from them. Is that clear? So plants, they make their food on their own. No one helps them in making their food. So they are known as autotrophs. That is, they make their food on their own. Then animals, they are heterotrophs. That is, they depend on other plants as well as other animals. कुछ animals आपने देखे होंगे जो घास खाते हैं, ठीक है, like cow, horse, they eat grass. तो वो plants पे depend करते हैं. Is that clear? Then कुछ animals होते हैं जो कि दूसरे animals को पकड़ के खाते हैं. So they depend on other animals for their food. Is that clear? So they are known as heterotrophs because they cannot make their food on their own. Either they will eat a plant or they are going to eat an animal to satisfy their hunger. Clear? Okay. Now, based upon the types of food they are eating, the animals are also categorized into two different categories. The animals which eat only plants, they are called herbivores because they are eating only the plants. Then the animals which eat other animals, they are known as carnivores. Is that clear? They eat other animals. And then there are certain animals which eat only the dead remains of the animals. That is, they eat the dead animal. They are known as scavengers. Okay, they are known as scavengers. Then there are certain animals which eat plants as well as the animal also. That is, they eat the vegetarian food also as well as the non-vegetarian food also. They are known as omnivores. For example, bear, they are omnivores. Then some of the human beings, they are also omnivores. Some human beings, they eat only vegetarian food. Is that clear? So this is how we categorize the living things according to the mode of nutrition they use. Is that clear? Okay. Okay children, now I stop over here for today. आज हम यहीं तक पढ़ेंगे. Okay, and then in the next video we will continue with the leftover characteristics. Okay, लेकिन जाने के पहले आपके लिए एक बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग एक्टिविटी है मेरे पास जो कि आप सब अपने घर में करेंगे और मैं आपको अच्छे से समझा देती हूँ कि आपको किस तरह उसको करना है. एंड देन यू ऑल आर गोइंग टू आंसर मी इन द कमेंट सेक्शन दैट व्हाट यू लर्नड फ्रॉम दिस एक्टिविटी. ओके, सो लेट्स स्टार्ट. Okay, for this activity we need few things, we require few things. Let us first collect those things. That is a soap dish. A soap dish, you need a soap dish which should be opened at the bottom. Okay, then we need some cotton to make a bed for the seeds. We need gram seeds, that is this, the chola seeds. Okay, then you can even use the rajma seeds, that is the kidney beans. Fine, you can use this also. So now let's start. We need a bottle of water. Now let's begin. First we are going to make a bed of cotton, a very thin bed of cotton for the seeds so that they can rest upon this cotton bed. Okay, we have arranged it properly. Now we are going to wet this cotton with some amount of water. Let's just sprinkle some water on the cotton bed. Okay, this way we are going to put some water in the cotton bed. Okay, now we will place the seeds on top of this cotton bed. This way we will maintain some distance so that they can grow properly, they get enough of space for the growth. Now we will take another bed of cotton, we will make a sheet of cotton, you can say a very thin layer of cotton, and place it on top of these seeds, very thin layer. This way you can stretch the cotton so that it turns into a thin layer. Now you can place this thin layer over the seed. and wet this cotton sheet also with the water. This way, okay. So this whole thing has been turned into bed for the seeds to grow. Now you are going to keep this soap dish next to your window where you will get proper sunlight, okay. You will keep it next to the window for 2 weeks, and you are going to water it every day. You are going to sprinkle water over it every day. Do not let the bed dry, okay, so that the seeds get enough water. Keep it aside, and then after 2 weeks you will see, or maybe after 1 week only, you will see that a small seedling has started coming out. A small plant has started growing from these seeds. Now what you have to do, that when the plant starts growing, every day you are going to measure the length of the plant and write it in your notebook, okay. So this will help you to see how growth takes place in the plants, okay children. So you all will perform this activity at home and I am sure you are going to enjoy it. बहुत मज़ा आने वाली है आपको मेरे साथ ये सारी activities करने में, and we will make our class more interesting, okay. So I'll meet you in the next session. That's all for today, okay. Bye bye, see you in the next class.